Stop sending salesy subject lines if you want your cold emails to get read, so you can actually get freelancing clients. I sent almost 8,000 cold emails with these stealth subject lines I'm going to show you in this video and got a 98% open rate. And in this little ad, I will show you how. So here is the deal. You will not get freelancing clients from cold email unless you actually get your emails read. I know that's a big shocker. But for example, I had a student who had a perfectly valid, solid offer, but her salesy subject lines like transform your browsers into buyers, stop prospects from even opening her emails. They never got to see her pitch. But once she switched to stealthy subject lines and got her emails read, she landed 8 clients and tripled her income. That's a pretty cool result. I'd love for you to do something similar. So that's what I'm going to show you in this fancy Google Doc. Now, quickly, if you don't know me yet, I help freelancing families and freelancers like my own make 20K a month while working 20-hour weeks. And if you want my all-time favorite stealth subject lines, including the one that got me this 98% open rate, then just comment stealth below this video and I'll speed those over to you. Now, let's take a look at what's not working and how to fix this. So it's really a matter of focus, right? You don't need an advanced degree to understand that an average pitch that gets read will outperform a great pitch no one ever sees, right? But a lot of people are focused on the offer, and that's obviously important, but things like which power word do you use in line 3, or what do you call your system, the mega ultra lead system or the mega super lead system, like all of that is superfluous, and that minutia isn't what actually moves the needle. The first and most important thing you need to focus on is making sure your pitch actually gets read. And the way to do that is fixing these salesy subject lines. So the issue is most people, which actually shocked me until I started coaching people on this, will write subject lines that scream, "This is a pitch," but people don't want that when they're in their inbox. For example, one agency that I worked with that was sending over 1 million emails a month, they had less than 1% open rates because they were using salesy subject lines talking about how they could increase sales and revenue, etc., in the subject line itself. They could barely afford to do that. I mean, they were sending so many emails that they still got, like, even a less than 1% open rate led to some business. So they could afford that, but most of us can't. So here's what we can actually do. But first, actually, 3 things not to do. Don't pitch in your subject line. Don't try to be funny or clever, and don't try to do some obscure random thing, let's say rubber duck, just to get people to open. This is not going to be congruent. It's not going to work. You want subject lines that people open, but also pre-frame them to be open to your pitch, even though they don't know you're pitching yet. So the way to do that and get 50 to 80% open rates is with these stealthy subject lines. And what we're going to do is write subject lines that are just relevant enough to set up the pitch while having insufficient information for your prospect to reject your email in their inbox. You want them thinking, I wonder what this is about, so they have to open the email to fill that gap. So there are 3 ways that you can do this. The first way is with the one-word subject line. This should be relevant to the thing that you do. So these are a bunch of examples: Facebook, ads, sales rep, CMO. But you would only do this, like the CMO, question mark subject line, you would only do this if, say, you're pitching to be someone's fractional CMO or do something that a CMO would do, right? Product name is a great, it's not necessarily one word, but a short subject line that is both, it's short, it's specific, it's personalized, and you can always rely on that. This is a great default to use because they don't know what it's about. It's hard to reject this. That's almost certainly going to get opened. But then, of course, make sure that you follow up in the email and actually talk about this, right? That you still need congruency all the way through. And technically, this could even go in the hyper-personalized category. So you could, if you know an individual, you could pull something from their social media, their life, their hobbies, anything like that. You could talk about a product that you purchased, advice that you took, a specific email or post or video that you watched. All of those things are going to work more often than not because of the degree of personalization. Finally, questions and names. These are almost completely blind, but they tend to work pretty well. This will probably end up with around a 50% give or take open rate in most cases. So things like thoughts, or just the person's first name, or your name plus their name, or question plus the person's name, etc., etc. Talking about a case study on their website, so-and-so, can you help? Again, of course, if you do something like this, the email has to be congruent. But this category is a great starting place if you don't know what else to do, because you can always find this information and you'll get things to work about half the time, which is a nice baseline for you to have. So, of course, using these subject lines will immediately get more of your outreach emails read, but a Fortune 500 CEO versus a solopreneur life coach, they're going to respond to different things. You do have to test and see what works best for you, your offer, and your audience, right? Otherwise, we'd all just use the same subject line and be millionaires and billionaires, right? So use some of these ideas, come up with your own ideas to test, and before you go and do that, I would highly recommend grabbing the Stealthy Subject Line resource here. I'll show you the 98% open rate subject line that I use, as well as other proven subject lines that almost no one else is using yet, meaning that they'll actually stand out in the inbox and get clicked on and opened. So if you want that, you can comment stealth below this video and I will send them over so you can start getting your offers seen by the right people. With that said, thank you for watching all the way to the end and have a superior day.